Hi, I'm Kerry Fink with Helping Seniors Updates, and it's Friday and it's the 26th. And on behalf of our president and founder, Joe Steckler, want to welcome you to today's update. Normally, I usually say on behalf of our education specialist, Kim Bernard, as well, but we're so fortunate to have Kim Bernard with us today for the Helping Seniors Update. How are you doing?
Doing good, Carrie. Doing great. How are you
Yeah, and
doing?
Kim, I'm talking to you in the Helping Seniors office, which is right
Yes.
there,
hmm
more or less at US 1 and Babcock Street there in Melbourne. And I know
hmm
you've been busy chasing down all the developments. There's some kind of breaking news about the COVID vaccinations, which should be comforting to a lot of people who've been waiting for them. So
hmm
without further ado, let me just go ahead and ask you to jump right in on that.
Yeah. So if you go on to Florida Health COVID-19.gov slash vaccine dash eligibility, I have a little caption here about all persons 50 years of age and older are eligible to receive the free vaccine in Florida. So people who are 50 years of age and older, people determined to be extremely vulnerable, as determined by a physician, a form is required for that. Healthcare workers with direct patient contact, and long-term care facility residents and staff. So those are all the ones that are eligible, the groups now eligible for the vaccine. On this website, there's also a vaccine finder. So if you click on vaccine finder, it'll give you the site nearest to your location.
Right. And I think as we were talking about, because I know you get calls about this a lot of time,
Oh, we do, yeah.
just because we're eligible doesn't
hmm
necessarily mean it's easy to find vaccines. I've talked to,
hmm
Kim, as we've done the Helping Seniors radio show that we do every Wednesday at
hmm
12 noon on 90.3 WEJF FM. I always kind of take like a little poll of everybody who's in the studio who's had the vaccination and who has yet to
hmm
take it, and
hmm
always find out that first of all, everybody's reported it's gone smoothly, no
Right.
issues with it, and it's
hmm
gone well. But most of them have said they had to fight a little bit to get that appointment, start
Yeah,
early and be persistent about it to be able to get it
right.
happen. And I know as we go along, it gets easier. But you have
hmm
a couple of resources to share
I
actually about
do.
that as well.
Actually, I have a few of them. So I'll first mention Seniors Helping Seniors, Jennifer Helen. Her number is 321-722-2999, and they can help you get with that registration as well. Also, you can give a call over to One Senior Place. They have care managers there. That telephone number is going to be 321-253-6336. And if this individual is a stay-at-home individual, they just don't want to go any place, they're afraid to go out because of the virus, or they're just a shut-in, that's fine too. The Brevard County Fire Rescue is also doing it in home. So you'd have to call the fire department that's closest to their home.
Mhm.
So if they're in Palm Bay, it would be, of course, obviously in that Palm Bay area, depending upon where they're located in Melbourne, and also Cocoa Beach, all over. So all of the Brevard County Fire Rescues are doing the vaccine. This is what I'm told.
Yeah, and I'm
Uh-huh.
looking at the site that you're referencing
Right.
now, which is Florida Health
Mm-hmm.
COVID-19.gov. We'll
Right.
make sure that's on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Florida Health COVID-19.gov. It's really got a
Right.
lot of good information, both,
It
both about
does.
staying safe about the
Mm-hmm.
COVID in general, but also now that we're sort of in this vaccination mode, because I don't know about you, Kim, but we're all excited. Spring is here. We're excited to kind of
Oh, absolutely.
get back to the way things
The
maybe
normal.
we remember them fondly
Right.
pre-COVID.
True.
So,
Very
and
true.
speaking of that, one of the things that we do want to cover on today's Helping Seniors update is we have a plan for your Saturday, and it is that you should come out to the American Muscle Car Museum. Now, let me
hmm
explain this, because I know, Kim, you get a lot of calls from people who say, "Now listen, I supported Helping Seniors in the 2020 car raffle, and I
hmm
know you guys were not able to have the event at the museum. And instead, we did give away the car. Troy Darling from Indy Atlantic is tooling around in that lovely 2020 Chevrolet Camaro convertible, but we didn't get to have our night at the museum, as it were.
hmm
So if you remember Mark Pylock, who is the very generous and kind owner of the American
hmm
Muscle Car Museum, it's his personal private collection that we get to tour anyway.
Mm-hmm.
300, like 300 different cars almost, I think.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
so he said, listen, once we get enough of our volunteers back in place, we're going to open up the museum and provide a Helping Seniors
Mm-hmm.
make good date or two, so that everybody who got tickets in 2020 is still going to be
Mm-hmm.
able to enjoy the museum. He goes, I'll even spring for the pizza and sodas and stuff, and it'll be a
Right.
nice day for everybody. So
Mm-hmm.
Saturday is not that day. I want to be careful to explain that, because
Right.
Saturday is the Cape Canaveral Antique Auto Show
Mm-hmm.
event that's coming up. They actually call this event Celebration of Cars, and they're telling me
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be over 500 cars. So
Wow.
there's all going to be a huge crowd out there. And so
Mm-hmm.
the point was, we can't have our 2,000 people who
Right.
2,500 people who show up the same day. They're probably going to have, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 people show up. It would be too many people.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the plan for Saturday. We would like for you to come out and enjoy this great, amazing day. It's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the grounds of the American Muscle Car Museum. And Mark is going to, subject to capacity, open
Mm-hmm.
up the museum. So you will be able to tour the museum between the
Mm-hmm.
hours of 11 and 2 for a $20 donation to charity. So Mark is going to collect at the door for that. It's not our Helping Seniors Make Good date, but if you're
Mm-hmm.
anxious and you want to get back in there and see the museum, you can pay $20 at the door. It all goes to charity, and you will be able to tour the museum. We're expecting that we're going to have a date to announce literally within the next 2 to 4 weeks of when we're
Mm-hmm.
going to have the 2020 Make Good event. And so you will hear from us all about that, I promise you. And you also already know, and hopefully have marked your calendar for October 9th, Saturday night, October 9th. That is going to be the 2021 Helping Seniors Car
Mm-hmm.
Raffle Grand Drawing Date. And Kim, as you know, people are buying tickets already. You can get them at
Mm-hmm.
helpingseniors.carraffle.com, or for that
Right.
matter, call you in the office.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, absolutely. Give me a call. I can enter credit card information online, or however you want to go about paying for it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I know people are getting the letters that Joe has sent out, and people are making their plans to support Helping
Mm-hmm.
Seniors in 2021. And I got to tell you, folks, we need your help. It's really, people just assume all these government grants and things support nonprofits, but the answer is, at least in the case of Helping Seniors, it's folks
Right.
like you who do go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and say, I need to help Joe. I need to help the seniors. I'll go ahead and get
Mm-hmm.
my raffle car ticket. And remember, each time you get a raffle car ticket, each ticket is doing three things. Number one, it's supporting the mission and the work of Helping Seniors. Number two, it gives you a shot at one of those amazing cars. You can pick a 2021 Chevrolet Camaro, a 2021 Dodge Challenger, a 2021 Kia Sportage, or a 2021 Mazda Miata convertible.
Mm-hmm.
And Kim, as you remember, last year our winner took the Camaro, and you remember the year before the winner took the Dodge Challenger. So it's going to be fun to see.
Right.
This is actually the
Who gets it
fifth
assigned?
annual.
Right.
I don't know which one they're going to pick, but we'll find out. And it could be
Be
you
exciting.
if you get your ticket. But the third benefit you get when you buy your Helping Seniors Car Raffle ticket is you will get to come into the museum. It's your Admit One ticket, free of charge, for the night of the grand drawing, and that's always a big spectacular event. So we're looking forward to that as well. So that's what's going on. helpingseniors.carraffle.com, full info. And then the last thing, real quickly, before we sign off for today, want to remind you that the Helping Seniors cruise is full speed ahead. We did have to shift the date because nobody was sailing. We're sailing right in and out of Port Canaveral on board the MSC Divina. And the thing that I love about that, Kim, is this is a hometown cruise. Nobody has to get on a jet plane, fly halfway around the world to get to the ship. You just have to go right up to Cape Canaveral, get on board with all your friends from Brevard County. This also is a fundraiser for Helping Seniors, because MSC Cruises is putting a portion of the sailing into supporting and growing the work of Helping Seniors. So not only is it great fun travel with local friends, and by then I know we're going to be ready to travel, but it's also something that supports the work of Helping Seniors and everything Joe has laid out that we're doing now in our 10th year of service to Brevard County. So kind of with that, Kim, I just want to throw it to you and ask you for any closing comments or thoughts. We've talked about vaccines. We've talked about the fundraisers and the good work that Helping Seniors is doing.
I would have to say definitely any senior that needs a COVID vaccine, definitely get on board with it as soon as you can, because I do know that they do have limited supplies.
Yeah,
So
that's so
that's very
important. And
critical.
also, let's give the number, Kim, if you don't mind,
Mhm.
about the Helping Seniors info line and what's the best hours to reach you. I know we all get the calls, we all get like voicemails, but after hours, but the hours that you're available to try to help.
So obviously it's going to be the Monday through Friday,
Mhm.
9 to 4, and the number is going to be the 321-473-7770.
That's right. 321
Mhm.
473 seven
Mhm.
seven seven zero. Well, with
Right.
that, Kim, I guess we'll
Mm.
sign off for today and we look forward to welcoming we'll be out
Yep.
there in force at tomorrow's classic car event at the American Muscle Car Museum. Again, it's 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., 3500 Sarna Road at Mark Pylock's fantastic American Muscle Car Museum. So, on
Mhm.
behalf of Joe Steckler and really our whole team, thank you and hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you, Carrie.